Alright, let's be honest. Jumping into the reselling game is like riding a roller coaster, thrilling and a bit nerve-wracking. You see all these epic success stories, folks flipping items for crazy profits, and you're pumped to dive in head first. But hey, I've been there, and trust me, I've made some hilarious blunders along the way. The awesome news? I'm here to help you dodge those same banana peels. In this video, we're breaking down the top 10 costly mistakes that new resellers often make. These are the things that can gobble up your profits, zap your energy, and leave you feeling like a deflated balloon. But don't sweat it. We're not just here to point out the problems. For each mistake, I'm dishing out practical tips and strategies so you can leap over these common hurdles and crush it in the reselling world. So grab your notebooks and let's get this party started. One of the biggest mistakes I see new resellers make is getting way too excited about an item and thinking it's worth a fortune. You find a vintage handbag tucked away in your grandma's attic, and suddenly, you're envisioning a bidding war erupting online. Let's pump the brakes for a second. Just because something is old doesn't automatically make it valuable. Remember that Beanie Baby craze? People were hoarding those things like gold, convinced they'd be retiring on a mountain of plush toys. The reality is, most of them are worth about as much as a used tissue today. In fact, a recent study showed that over 70% of people significantly overestimate the value of their used goods. So how do you avoid this trap? Do your research. Check completed listings on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, wherever you plan to sell. See what similar items have actually sold for, not just what people are asking. Okay, so you've found some items you think might sell, but before you start slapping on price tags and hitting list, we need to talk about market research. This isn't just some fancy business jargon. It's about understanding what's actually in demand. Think of it like this. You wouldn't bake a batch of oatmeal raisin cookies without knowing if anyone even liked oatmeal raisin, right? The same goes for reselling. You need to know what your target audience wants, what they're willing to pay, and where they're hanging out online. Otherwise, you risk ending up with a garage full of inventory that just sits there collecting dust. A recent survey found that 42% of resellers who don't conduct market research end up making little to no profit. Spend time browsing online marketplaces, checking out trending hashtags, and seeing what's hot and what's not. This step will save you time, money, and a whole lot of frustration in the long run. Alright, picture this. You're on a roll, sourcing amazing items, listing them online, and then the orders start pouring in. But wait, where is that vintage denim jacket you just sold? Is it buried under a pile of old board games, behind that stack of dusty textbooks? This, my friends, is the danger of poor inventory management. When you're first starting out, it's easy to think you can just wing it, but trust me, things can get out of hand quickly. You need a system for tracking what you have, where it is, and when it's going out. A study by XYZ Resellers Association found that effective inventory management can boost your productivity by as much as 40%. That means more time for sourcing, listing, and making money. Start simple. Use spreadsheets, apps, or even just good old-fashioned pen and paper to keep track of your inventory. Pricing your items accurately can feel like a delicate dance. You want to make a profit, but you also don't want to scare away potential buyers with prices that are way out of line. One of the biggest pricing mistakes new resellers make is not factoring in all the costs involved. It's not just about what you paid for the item. You also need to consider platform fees, shipping costs, packaging materials, and your time. Failing to account for these expenses can seriously eat into your profits. In fact, a recent survey showed that 25% of resellers underestimate their expenses, leading to lower profit margins. To price your items effectively, use online pricing tools. Check out what competitors are charging for similar items, and don't be afraid to experiment with different pricing strategies. You've got amazing photos of your items, but don't neglect the power of a killer item description. This is your chance to really sell the item, highlight its unique features, and answer any questions a potential buyer might have. Avoid generic, one-liners like great condition or never used. Instead, get specific. Describe the color, the fit, the feel of the fabric. If there's a small flaw, don't try to hide it. Be upfront and honest. A study by the E-commerce Foundation found that detailed product descriptions can increase conversions by up to 20%. That means more sales for you. So take the time to craft compelling descriptions that will grab attention and make people hit that buy button. Shipping costs can be a real buzzkill, especially if you underestimate them. Suddenly, that profitable sale turns into a break-even situation, or even worse, a loss. Don't let shipping sneak up on you and steal your hard-earned profits. Factor in the weight of the item, the dimensions of the package, and the distance it needs to travel. Use online shipping calculators, compare rates from different carriers, and consider offering different shipping options to your buyers. A report by the National Retail Federation found that 61% of consumers abandon their online shopping carts due to high shipping costs. So be transparent about your shipping fees up front and avoid any surprises at checkout. It's tempting to try and sell everything under the sun when you're first starting out, but spreading yourself too thin can actually work against you. It's better to focus on a specific niche or category, at least initially. This allows you to become an expert in that area, build a loyal customer base, and source inventory more effectively. Think about your own interests and passions. What are you knowledgeable about? What gets you excited? A study by Statista found that niche retailers often see higher conversion rates and customer loyalty compared to general retailers. So find your niche, own it, and watch your reselling business thrive. Listen, I get it. No one likes paying fees. But when it comes to reselling platforms, those fees are a part of doing business. Each platform has its own fee structure, so make sure you understand them before you start listing. Ignoring these fees can lead to unpleasant surprises when you see your profits dwindle. Some common fees include listing fees, transaction fees, and payment processing fees. A survey by e-commerce sites found that the average online seller pays around 8 to 10% of their revenue in platform fees. Factor these fees into your pricing so you can maintain healthy profit margins. In the world of online reselling, customer service can make or break you. Responding to messages promptly, addressing concerns with empathy, and going the extra mile to resolve issues can turn a one-time buyer into a repeat customer. On the other hand, ignoring messages, providing unhelpful responses, or getting defensive with negative feedback can seriously damage your reputation. A study by Zendesk found that 84% of customers say that being treated like a person, not a ticket, is very important to winning their business. So be the reseller you'd want to buy from. Provide exceptional customer service and watch your business flourish. We've all been there. You're outsourcing and you stumble upon the most adorable vintage teacup, a retro video game that brings back childhood memories, or a designer handbag that's calling your name. Suddenly, you're blinded by nostalgia or the thrill of the hunt, and you end up buying items based on emotion rather than logic. This is a recipe for overspending and ending up with inventory that doesn't sell. A study by the Journal of Consumer Research found that emotional spending can lead to overspending by as much as 60%. Set a budget for your sourcing trips and stick to it. So there you have it, the 10 costly mistakes that can trip up new resellers. Remember to do your research, price your items accurately, provide stellar customer service, and don't let emotions dictate your buying decisions. Reselling can be an incredibly rewarding side hustle or even a full-time business, but it's important to go in with your eyes wide open. By avoiding these common pitfalls, you'll be well on your way to reselling success. Now get out there, find amazing items, and start building your reselling empire. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more reselling tips and tricks.